I'm sitting here with Stephen Houmard, and he is the owner of Solid Ground Home Inspections. He has been inspecting homes for over 15 years, and he is actually certified. But what we're going to talk today is a kind of a specialty service, an add-on service, if you will, of what he brings to the table. And he's used it on several of my clients' homes, and it's a sewer scope. So I'm going to let Stephen talk about why you would use it, and we'll ask him some questions on other things about that. But Stephen, tell me about the sewer scope.
Sewer scope is typically what plumbers usually do, and now we're seeing it used with home inspections a lot more. A lot of the other markets, it seems to be more popular than it is here in Charleston. What it is a long cable, fiber optic, and we stick a camera down a sewer line and we'll scope the sewer line from your house out to the city connection, and also from the house back up into the pipes to see if there's any defects.
And I guess that's why that's important, is because the cities are responsible from the tap, right?
Yes. The city is responsible from the street, and that's it, and you are responsible all the way up to the house.
Okay, good. It basically has a camera on the end.
Yes.
But does it auger as well, or the camera just kind of goes, so you basically, whatever you can get through, you get through?
Yeah, it's just a camera on the end of this long wire fiber optic camera. The best thing I can think of is when the doctor looks down your throat into your stomach. It's basically kind of the same thing. If there was an auger, that would be considered a repair, and home inspectors aren't allowed to repair or damage.
Right.
So that's why we can't do that.
So is there any times that you cannot use this?
Yes, in a lot of the older homes, we'll find that there's no clean out. There's no cap in the yard. We just didn't do it back then. And some of the older homes don't have it underneath the house. I can't pull off the toilet because, once again, you don't own the house yet, but we can't get to it if there's no clean outs.
When you're scoping, what are kind of your typical things that you find?
One of the things that we find most of the time is what's called a belly. And you should have this long, straight line that goes from your house to the sewer. Sometimes there's a low spot, and that low spot will collect water. Over time, sewers work more like the tide. And every time you drain a sink, it pushes a little further. If you have a belly, everything collects there. Kind of like a low spot in a stream, and you'll get all the debris that gets caught in there. We see that quite often. Recently we had one where it was brand new construction just before closing, and somebody ran over the pipe in the yard, and we had a good section that wasn't even connected. They were offset. So the homeowner would have moved in, everything worked fine when we ran the water, but it wouldn't have took long. That would have been a sinkhole. And that wouldn't have been fun for the homeowner or the builder. So things like that. We did one where we found gravel over a 120-year-old home, and it was rock. It was the strangest thing. How do you get rock in the sewer line? Tree roots. Tree roots are the most common.
Right. So what are the kind of the evolution of sewer pipes? I guess it started out a long time ago with tile, but most recently cast iron?
Yes, here in Charleston, the first thing we see is cast iron sewer lines. If you drive downtown, you see them a lot on the exterior of the homes. Early 20th century, late 1800s, we had cast iron, and then about the 60s, we started seeing things like, it's called Orangeburg pipe, which is paper and tar paper. And they thought that that was the last pipe you'll ever need. We find out now it kind of shrinks down like an old paper towel tube when it gets wet, and now it's oval. It doesn't work right. We went to an ABS, a plastic pipe in the 70s, a black pipe. They're a little bit more prone to crack, and now we use what's called PVC, which everybody realizes a white pipe. Those things are great, but you can't drive over them. Now here's the kicker. Here in Charleston, we'll dig down 6 inches to bury things because we don't have a frost. Our northern people that move here are used to 12, 18, 2 feet down. They'll drive their car across the sewer line where a good southerner won't, because we know pipes are just right there. So we get cracked pipes from that.
Okay.
It pushes them down in the mud a little bit, bellies. So those are some of the things, the problems we have. Cast iron lasts 50 years, so most all of it's ready to be pulled out now, and nobody ever does. The Orangeburg pipe, the last pipe you'll ever need, just doesn't work at all. That needs to be pulled out. ABS I don't see a lot of problems with them. And then the PVC, unless you drive over it.
Now, when we looked at the house that was downtown, it was built in the 1800s, you had mentioned that because the cast iron looked like it was somehow been penetrated by, I guess, tree roots or whatever, but there's a way to fix it somehow?
Yes, this is exciting. If you have a pipe and it's all occluded, plumbing companies come in with the router, and they'll clean it all out. And then when you do that, you actually make the walls of the pipe actually thinner. Good example would be like a cardiac catheterization. We're going to come in there and clean out all the blockage so the water flows freely. But then they take this long, it looks like a sock inside out, and they put it in there, and it's coated with this material, this coating, and they blow it up inside there, and then they put a UV light and it hardens in place. And basically what they're doing is relining the pipe. It's cheaper than digging up all the pipe, but it's still pretty expensive.
Because downtown, you've got sidewalks, you got stone walls, you got, maybe is the best
Best way to do it downtown.
Suburbia USA, getting a backhoe in there is not that big a deal.
We're still going to save money if we reline them, but yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but downtown, I wouldn't dig it up. I would reline it because you never know what you're going to find. If we're downtown and we dig up the front yard and we found a foundation of an old building, then the historical society wants to come in. It's better just to reline it and not find things in the yard.
Right.
So it's a good, easy, simple, and a really nice product to use.
So it really sounds like it doesn't matter whether it's a new house or an older house. It's probably a good idea to do it if you can get the clean outs.
Yes, if there's clean outs, we should do it.
Good.
Even if there's not a clean out, they want you, the insurance companies and the warranty companies, everybody really wants you to put a clean out in. Because if you don't have you're always going to get a clogged sewer at one time or another.
Right.
It's just a matter of how long you live there.
Right. Well, how long have you been doing the sewer scopes?
We've been doing the sewer scopes for a year now. I think there's just a handful of us home inspectors that are doing them. It's surprising how many people are asking for them.
Right.
You know, I never had anybody ask for them until we started. It's like everybody wanted some now. So.
And this is above standard.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Your inspection.
It's an extra $150. And you think, I'm paying so much for the home inspection, $150. But if we were to call the plumber, they usually charge $300, $350 for the same service.
Well, Stephen, thank you for all you do for my clients. Thank you for providing this service that is above and beyond for the people in the low country, and wish you the best. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
All right.
Yeah.